Hi guys, we're in the Q&A of the Blendid webinar, investor webinar in robotics. So let's just jump back in.
Yeah, our legal department give us a lot of grief if we talk about any kind of projection. So yeah.
This is to do with financial projections.
Whatever we have done today, it is available on our investment page. I encourage you to read the offering circular. It has all the details.
Actually,
we won't share the specific projection.
We're about 40 minutes into this. I've got other videos if you haven't seen these. I'll give you a 30-second rundown. Blendid is a robotic kiosk company, fantastic, amazing robotics, AI, and automation so you can order a smoothie from anywhere and come and collect it, and a robot will deliver it to you, in this kiosk format. And Blendid have 6 locations in the US, and they're raising their Series B, and they could be massive. They're partnering with Walmart and Jamba in the United States, as well as universities, airports, and a bunch of other things. Let's jump into the Q&A now.
But we will share with you the plans that we have.
Let's see. So, some questions about the smoothies that are currently offered in our existing model, and how much they cost, and how they're priced.
Yeah, so a good question. So currently we offer smoothies that range from an ASP of $6. Assume a 14-ounce nutrition-rich smoothie for $6. There are some options for add-ons. That is, if you want to add protein powder to your smoothie, then you might pay 50 cents extra for that. There is all this capability in your experience. So you can customize, you can see, but typically $6.50, you can get a really good tasting, really healthy and nutrition-rich smoothie. And the margins I have shared with you here, I think there are really good margins for the operators after paying for all the food cost and labor cost to service and our service fee. Good margins and good cash return.
That's cool.
We had a question from Alma about customer data. And maybe I'll take the beginning of this, and then if we can jump in, because as a marketer, this is really, it makes me really excited. They're asking about how we recognize people and what we know about someone. Well, obviously, when you order from us, we are creating an account for you, so we do have that data. We have your feedback. We know what went into that order, etc.
It's amazing.
We also can see your order history through the app, and if you want to go in and reorder something, it's very, very easy to do.
By the way, this is what restaurants don't really do that well. QSRs, fast foods, service station, kiosks, they just don't do it very well. They don't really know who their customers are in a lot of cases. And if you have to go through this process that this lady, Covain, is saying for Blendid, I don't know if I pronounced that name right or wrongly, apologies if it's wrong, but they're saying they have to sign in and they track, whether me, Jake, is ordering, a strawberry protein smoothie. That means it's added to the CRM, so you can do marketing campaigns. The operator can do all sorts with that data. They could also know what kind of drinks are the most popular and things like that.
Also have some other features that we have developed in our lab. We haven't launched publicly in all of our sites yet, but again, the team is always working on these great features. So, for example, some of the power of all this data that we have and the AI engine is to be able to predict what you might actually want in the future. We know that you really like kale or mangoes. We have the ability within the customer to create different recipes for you. So there's just a tremendous power in the operating system that we have, and we really look forward to continuing to expand that and meeting consumer needs in a better way. Vipin, I know this is also something that you're really excited about. Is there anything else you'd add about kind of our AI engine and how we look at consumer data?
Yeah, I think if you simply stretch your imagination and imagine you walk into a food court, let's say 4 years, 5 years from now, you walk into a food court, but it happens to be a completely robotic food court. There are multiple concepts. Your solid food, your beverages, your hot food, cold food, all powered by Food OS. And you walk into this environment, and with your consent, the system welcomes you and says, "Welcome, Kovan. Do you want a YouTube?" Because I know exactly how to make it usual and how to make it to your taste and perfection, or do you want to try something new? I know enough about your taste. I know enough about your body needs and your nutrition needs. And if there is enough work and a lot of R&D and a lot of research happening around microbiome, imagine that that world in 4 to 5 years where with your consent, with your opt-in, the system knows about your microbiome and it says, Kovan, I can whip up something brand new.
Amazing.
And I know we're aligned with your taste and your microbiome with your gut. And this will be a new recipe that no chef has ever created.
Yeah, I think that's
create that using
really
AI,
cool vision.
And it will appeal to both of those senses. And I think that is the future where you say, okay, make it for me. And the system will create a brand new recipe and it'll be fantastic, it will be delicious, and it will do you really
personalized.
It will align with the bacteria you have in your gut.
Amazing.
And that is the future that we want to create, where food is so personalized and food is so so creative that you enjoy, you take delight in going to this place and getting your food.
Amazing.
It is for you, and it is for the health and wellness of your body and mind, and that is where we want to push the envelope. I'm really passionate about this whole area of microbiome and creating food for your gut and for body and mind. So yeah.
We had a question earlier that I addressed. I think it will be helpful to share broadly at Patrick about wanting to know if we're going to move into the fast food industry like McDonald's, because he's seeing that these areas really need to be automated. So thinking about other areas, you want to talk about other future partnership opportunities?
I think it surprises you to say, and I mentioned that earlier, that the whole QSR market, fast food, fast casual, managed cafeteria, I think they're ripe for innovation, they're ripe for disruption. And yes, we are in conversation with multiple brands, and we do want to help bring robotic experience and robotic automation with highly personalized food in a lot of such places, be it your hamburgers or sandwiches or bowls or soups or salads or whatever it might be.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think we do want to use a food OS to bring food automation properly. So we started the company not to just make smoothies. We started the company to make.
I think that's really interesting. I think
be able to make different types of food. So yeah.
You know, they're the first robotic company I've heard of that's really talking about personalized food and trying to sync in the marketing with almost the nutritional data and the purchasing data to make a personalized experience. You know, I think that's really interesting. That's different from other companies. Excuse me. Try and get a bit more balanced light in here. That's different from other companies and, you know, Mesa Robotics and Zoom Pizzas and things like that in this space. Don't think they're doing anything like that. So that's very interesting. They also, you know, Vipin has also just mentioned that he's interested in the QSR, fast food, cafe space. I think cafes, I think the malls they've talked about and the universities, I think it's a no-brainer. I think they could be interested, like, I think burger chains could be a space where they could be interested because, you know, they could do some amazing like milkshakes and drinks and shakes and juices, just, you know, and coffees, just, you know, pretty much as it is at the moment. I don't think it would take that much different change to make this into a similar model to a Flippy. So I think there could be some competition for Mesa Robotics here. Anyway, let's see what else they say.
We had a question from John Whedon talking about sort of more climate-oriented things, and I just mentioned what I mentioned to him. Obviously, we have a number of opportunities in front of us. We're making healthy food more accessible to people and really helping with their nutrition. We're helping operators increase their margins and make the business that they've been in really healthy. And then there is another benefit, of course, which is in the climate arena. Vip, I know you were sharing recently some stats on. Yeah. Do you want to talk about what we're seeing?
One thing that we don't intuitively think about with automation is food waste, and this is something that we're very happy about. We deployed at a location. I won't name the location for confidentiality reasons. But we deployed at a location, and this operator had built a model using a 25% food cost. And we had the first business review, and this operator said, you know, I'm not complaining, but our food cost came at 21%. There's additional 4% margin along, and this was due to zero food waste. That is, so just so optimized because the whole front of house was completely optimized to the grams, and the back of house planning was completely optimized because you knew exactly what to order and how much based on the consumption the system told us. So we were able to reduce food waste to almost zero, and that gave us 4% additional profit along with being good for the environment. So this was this is a side effect of good automation, where you can be so precise that you can not only help consumers consume good food, but you can also eliminate food waste. And I think we want to double down on that and see how to make it even better and better as we move forward with different types of cuisines and formats. So it benefits the society broadly.
Well, I had a couple questions about our manufacturing of our equipment. I want to know a little bit more where and how, and any sort of supply chain considerations.
Great question. So currently we manufacture all of our kiosks. Okay, so let me rephrase. We manufacture different parts of the kiosk in different parts of the country and some parts even globally. But we assemble and test and ship from the suburbs of Bay Area. So we have a manufacturing partner in the larger Bay Area. So we ship from here. We have a tier 1 contract manufacturing partner aligned and onboarded.
So it's interesting, they've got manufacturers, they're sourcing from the US and globally. Interesting. I wonder, I previously mentioned in previous videos for Blendid whether they would consider ally robotics. I don't know whether there's room for them to partner together. I don't know if they're competing together, maybe. But it looks like there's some overlap, potentially, possibly.
And at some point, we are going to transition to them for large-scale manufacturing with a global reach, because we are seeing a lot of interest, not only in the US, but also from the outside, from Europe and from Asian countries, some Asian countries that are very heavy on automation and robotics. So we want to work with partners who have factories all over the world, so we can manufacture and ship our kiosks all over the world. So we have a tier 1 manufacturing partner. I won't name them yet for confidentiality reasons, but we are going to be able to supply globally or something.
Very good.
Very simple question from Christina.
Before we jump to Christina's question, I think it just shows the confidence here. Yeah, they're going multi-state, they're going multi-food type. They're looking to take on the drinks industry as well as the food industry, as well as partnering with brands, whether that's supermarkets, universities, airports, or potentially QSR, quick service restaurants, fast foods, cafes, restaurants, etc. And they're thinking globally already. So I think it's really a very strong concept. I am saying this from a position that I've already invested in Blendid. I know they've got it until the round open, this Series B, until the 10th of October, I think it is, or is it the 14th of October? Anyway, it's not long left. If you are watching this video and the time has already elapsed, don't worry. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, and when there's a new round that comes out, either myself will publish a video or members of my community will probably comment on my videos to mention it. We're a very good community of my subscribers are often investors and board members of some of these startups as well. And also very soon, probably by the time you're watching this, I'll have established my Discord community, again, full of investors and angel investors and board members of startups, etc. All adding value to the Discord community, to our community, where you can learn more about upcoming raises, company news, and analysis and insights at all levels. And it's not just coming from me. You know, I consider myself interested and knowledgeable about certain fields, but I think the power that comes from the Discord community will be from everybody. So make sure to check out that link in the description. And yeah, let's carry on with the video.
Find out if we have access to recordings after today. Yes, absolutely. And you must
This is a recording.
be sending this out
So we're answering that question.
So you don't
I was busy with family when this came out, but anyway, only a few days after it launched. Still a few weeks left to invest. So.
Great question from Homer Simpson here. Wanting to know if we'll have a microbrew kiosk concept soon.
Microbrew?
It's
beer.
beer.
What do you think about beer?
That's interesting.
All I can tell you is we do Happy Fridays sometimes using our blended kiosk in our anywhere office. So yes, I think
Wow.
there is opportunity to offer alcoholic beverages.
Interesting.
They can be simple beverages. They can also be cocktails. And
Interesting.
This is fairly incremental work for us to commercialize the product.
Incremental meaning small.
And bringing any product to market, any new product to market is we want the demand to exist before we bring the product.
That's
we
smart.
want to identify go-to-market partners, large brands and customers who have deploying the product, similar to Java. So the right partners and the right investment level, we will bring it to market. So yeah, that is one of the products that we often talk about. That's so easy to do and so easy to commercialize. But we need to just shift the focus a little bit.
Kiosk
this round,
bars.
We do want to start thinking about bringing more products to market. So
interesting.
That could be one of them.
I'm sure so it'll be very popular on college campuses.
Yeah, my God, imagine that.
Let's see, another question from Angel asking me if we were team up with the medical industry to create some customer diet plans. I think I mentioned earlier, we are very excited about our first hospital location. That's one of the places in our queue right now. And yes, as Ethan was talking about earlier about the microbiome and our ability to micro target what is really good for a person's individual gut. The potential is there with technology. So that is down the road. It's I can't say that that's an active thing we're doing right now, but that is part of the potential for the future. Yes. Okay, there are a couple questions that say Ernesto and others just more on the kind of logistics of the size of the kiosk, the square footage it takes, and then so the question about sort of what the operator's role of who's finding the locations for the kiosk. So can you just talk about what the operator does when they want to put a kiosk somewhere?
Good question. So it goes back to that in the current phase. So we are working with medium to large operators and brands, and we mostly target what is known as non-traditional locations, right? So these are not street side restaurants. These are non-traditional locations like college cafeterias, hospitals, company cafeterias, stadiums, shopping malls and such, right? So there you already have food service, you already have foot traffic. So there we identify the right location, the right placement for the kiosk. When we work with medium to large operators, they already know, and in most cases, they identify the right location where they want to bring it to make it economically work. So Jamba is a great example. So when we work with Jamba for Jamba by Blendid product, they do all the scouting. They know the location where they want to bring the kiosk. So they take on the job of identifying locations. We don't have a real estate team per se, so we don't go and hunt for locations, but we work with medium to large operators who have the capability. So in that sense, you don't.
That's a smart way of doing it. They don't need to actually go out and build a location. They're just partnering with people that already have demand, already have customers, already have foot traffic, already have the interest and potential site within a location. Seems smart.
Consider ourselves as a franchisor. So we are not a franchise business. We sell the technology solutions.
It's kind of like franchise though.
Service.
Kind of.
So you buy the hardware and you pay a service fee. So
which is kind of like franchise.
In that sense, so many reasons why we work with medium to large operators, and this is one of them, because they have the ability to scout locations, to identify locations. They have the ability to manage supply chain, to maintain quality control. So when you work with US Foods, you know how to manage food service, you know how to manage ingredients, and how to have the audit trail, how to have the checks and balances in place so you handle food properly. And there are a lot of reasons with food where we want more maturity and operators to work with, at least at this stage, and then we look at expanding.
Okay, if we have time for one or maybe two more questions. We have a question from Stacy about how we are protecting consumer data, PPI, etc.
Yeah, so great question. So this is something we do inherently. This is not the first time we're dealing with consumer data. So the team has a lot of experience in it. So we don't store any PII, we don't store any credit card data. So we use PCI compliant payment processors. So transactions go to Square or Stripe. We don't store any of that. We also support all the GDRP and other
GDPR
regulations and laws
in Europe.
Consumer the privacy and control over how the personal information is stored and used and maintained or deleted.
By the way, PII is personally identifiable information. It's where a company can get into trouble if they store PII incorrectly. So they're saying that they're not storing payment details, but even a name or an email is classed as PII in most cases. But let's see what they say.
It's part of the protocols and regulations to protect the consumer data.
Okay, I don't think it's a barrier anyway. I mean, these guys are going to do very, very well. I don't think they're going to get into any hot water, as it were, by storing people's names and email addresses.
We'll cut it there. I again want to thank everyone for all of these questions. It's fast and furious coming in with all the hundreds of people we have here. So first, Vipin, we turn to you. Any closing thoughts or comments for our investors and prospective investors today?
Before Vipin talks about this, I want to say how incredibly impressed I am by this process and by the team. I think they've got a strong product, they've got a strong vision, they've got a lot of demand. They need to raise money, of course, but I think that this is a concept that will spread. And I've already invested. Let's see what he has to say.
I think so. Over the years after starting the company, I've had a lot of friends and family who invested in the company, and I have always told them, and this is what I will say: we think we are in a really good place with what we have built and what our ambition is. But this is start of investment. So to consider making an investment if you believe in the mission, if you believe in what we are doing, and what the opportunity can be. Don't make an investment if you're looking for this investment to flip overnight. That is, if you are looking for short-term return, this is not the right investment.
Agree.
For you. For the long term, yes. And long term, you want to build a really big business that will be commercially very successful, that will be financially very attractive. So invest the money that you can afford to invest and not stress about.
Yeah, at least 5 years, probably like 10 years.
Don't go to bed thinking
15.
about what's going to happen to my investment. And if you are in that state, this is not the right investment. So invest in the mission, invest in the long-term opportunity.
The vision.
And I think all of us work with that passion and for that opportunity. So I would say,
and that's the case for most startup investment guys. If you're looking for a quick buck, it's probably not the place to do it, because even if a company does do well, some of my companies have doubled or tripled in a year or two within startup investing, but it's quite hard to crystallize that. You can't, it's not liquid, they haven't IPO'd. But I think the main thing to think is that sometimes with these companies, if they're doing well, what's to stop them from doing well 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And if you can answer that question, or if I can answer it on your behalf through these videos, and you can come to the same conclusion that I've come to within your own analysis, that Blendid will do well, next year, it will do well in 5 years, it will do well in 10 years, it will do well in 20 years. stick with the ship, because sometimes the long-term investors do the best. There was a famous story of someone in Berkshire Hathaway who sold once the stock had doubled. And I think their investment now will be worth $100 million. I think they only made 20,000 or something because they were looking for a quick buck. I'm not saying this is going to become the next Berkshire Hathaway, but it does often come true that if you sell a good stock or a good company early, they're only going to grow further in the future. And the only person to miss out is the investor. So let's see what else they have to say. There's 2 more minutes, and then I'll part with my own closing thoughts as well shortly.
And first and foremost, I think you have to believe in the mission. And if you believe in the mission, then we want you to be our brand ambassador. We want you to be our evangelist and helping spread the word. And as we enter your market where you might be, we want to be the first one to experience it, and then bring all the friends and family that you know, and let them experience it. Be part of the mission. I think it will be a fantastic experience for you to see how your investment and your ownership in the company, how that makes a difference in people's everyday life.
Well said. Okay, a couple of just closing logistics here. Again, thank you very much. We did record this, and we'll be sending this out tomorrow. Victor, do you want to just bring up that last slide, if you could? Just want to remind everyone that we're actually raising our Series B, but we're closing in just a little over 3 weeks.
There you go.
So if you're interested in joining us, of course, we'd love to.
It's actually about 2.5 weeks now.
Investment website, which is invest.blendid, BLENDID.com. If you have more questions, you can also send an email to me and my team at invest.blendid.com. And lastly, there's also a Q&A section at the bottom of our investor website. And a lot of times it's really helpful if you have questions that you think would be beneficial to the broader community to post them there. And that way everyone can see the responses as well. So we're trying to create as many channels as we can. I know we got to a number of questions today, but not quite all of them. So please do let me know if there's still outstanding questions that we can address. Thank you very much. I think we are done now. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Let's have a look at the website. So just over 2.5 weeks, roughly. And this is the cool robotic automation they were talking about. Seems to run smoother actually on the website than on the Zoom. Look at that. Beautiful. Little kiosks. Fantastic. Okay. Big box retailers like Jamba, Walmart. They've got 500 plus in contracts. If we just do a quick analysis of that, and let's just say they have 600, right? Let's hit 600 times 125,000, which is quite a lot. Oh. Don't know what happened to my screen there. Apologies. I think I was doing 600 times. What is that? 75 million. That's 75 million that they would make. That's kind of crazy. And if we do a quick analysis of how much they said they would make, so let's use the small. They said they'd make 100. That person would make 100. That each location would make 100,000, in $100,000 a year. So let's just use the small amount for now. Just put myself there. There we go. I'm on the right. Okay. So let's just say. So they're making 75 million just from the sales, and they're making, what's that, 9.6 million a year just from those 600. It's pretty high. So they're making about 85 million from those 600 stores alone. That's pretty high. And I think that the costs aren't going to be that high, to be honest. Like they have the software, which is expensive to produce, but they've already produced it. They've got the manufacturing of the actual kiosks. What do we think that'll cost? 20,000 maybe. Installation, maybe another 10K. So I reckon 30,000. So if we go, we can remember that the figure was about 85 million in terms of revenue. And let's take 20 million off. So they're making, let's say they're making 65 million gross. Let's say they've got, you know, a million of employment costs and another 5 million marketing. So they're making 60 million. Right. These are just kind of back of the hat forecasts, of course, right? Times that by 20, what do we get? 12 billion. 12 billion valuation this company could be worth. That's just on a 20x earnings. And I've done this really roughly. I don't know what their costs are going to be, but it could easily be worth over 10 billion if they get 600. They're talking about 500 plus here. Let's just say 600. And they've got some big investors as well, marquee investors, BGV, Partech, Plug and Play, Focus Brands. They've got a cool website. If you want to invest, you've got about 2 weeks left, invest.blendid.com. If you do invest in them, let me know in the comments, just say if you've invested. I think it really helps me. It gives me motivation that my videos are kind of showing people something. If you like my videos, let me know in the comments, because I don't really know. Sometimes I make these videos, a couple of hundred people might watch them. In some cases, it's less than that, 30, 40 people. I can see in the analytics that people do tend to watch a lot of the videos, and thank you for watching, you know, to the end of this video. But it'd be awesome to hear what's your experience. You know, are you investing? Are you thinking of investing? If you're comfortable telling me how much you're investing, let us know in the comments as well. I can let you know that I'm taking the approach where I'm investing a small amount in a lot of companies. So I've invested $1,000. I think that was the minimum in Blendid. Just got married, so I'm trying to kind of manage my finances that way. Right, guys, it's the end of my lunch break. I've got to go back to my day job at Meta. I work for WhatsApp, so I better go. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Where you can support the channel, if you want to support the channel, is to like the video. That shows it to more people. Subscribe, hit the bell notification icon button. If you've missed this raise, then you never know. I'll probably be producing new videos when the next raise is available. There's Series C, for example. And of course, my helpful community will also comment and often comments about how long's left, when the next round is, etc. And you can join this community by subscribing, of course. And also, I'm setting up a Discord community as we speak. There should be a link in the description. I may even at some point create my own website where we can have our own community of like-minded, future-minded investors, people that are looking to back the future, support the future, and help our economy, the global economy, grow by investing in amazing companies like Blendid. If you're interested in the robotics space in general, I've made several videos and investments in the robotics space since about 2019. You can check out these, I'm sure, in some of the videos that are about to appear. I've also invested in the startup space in general. I've invested about 80 angel investments, something like that. And you can check out some of the videos that I've made in the investment in startups playlist, something like that, around here. Guys, if you like these videos, make sure to smash the like button. If you know somebody that could benefit, feel free to share this video in a community platform of your choice, whether it's Slack, Discord, a WhatsApp group, on your Facebook profile, an email, telling your friends and family, whoever might benefit from backing the future. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do invest in these companies, and you know, my own reputation, if you like, is on the line, and I back myself. So there you go. Knowledge is power, especially that kind of knowledge. And of course, progress is everything. I look forward to seeing you and maybe some of your family and friends in the next upcoming video. Take care, guys. Cheers.